Come out to the coast. We'll get together, have a few laughs.
You think you know Die Hard? These explosive secrets will blow apart everything you thought you knew about the greatest action movie ever made. Fact 1. When Die Hard was greenlit, Bruce Willis was far from a box office draw. At the time, he was known mainly for the TV show Moonlighting. Producers originally offered the role of John McClane to several other huge stars. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Burt Reynolds, and even Richard Gere turned it down. They saw the project as too risky or not a good fit for their image. Frank Sinatra technically had the first right of refusal due to a contract clause from the detective, the 1968 film that Die Hard was loosely based on. Sinatra was over 70 at the time and wisely declined. When Willis finally landed the part, the studio hid his casting on early marketing. They feared audiences wouldn't buy a TV comedian as an action hero. But Willis proved everyone wrong with his mix of toughness and sarcasm. His everyman vibe reshaped what an action hero could be. His McClane wasn't invincible. He bled, he cursed, he panicked. That vulnerability changed the entire genre. And now John McClane is one of the most beloved action characters ever. Without those other stars saying no, the film would have been a totally different beast. Sometimes the last choice becomes the perfect choice. That's one casting gamble that paid off beyond Hollywood's wildest expectations.
On, you motherfucker! You made your point! Let him pull back!
Thank you, Mr. Cowboy. I'll take it under advisement.
Fact 2. The towering Nakatomi Plaza is practically a character itself in Die Hard, but it's not some Hollywood backlot. It's a real building in Los Angeles. The skyscraper is actually Fox Plaza, the corporate headquarters for 20th Century Fox. While filming, real employees were still working in the building on lower floors. To save money, Fox rented their own office space back to themselves for production. Crews would rig explosions, squibs, and lights at night to avoid disrupting business hours. Some floors under construction became perfect sets for the unfinished areas McClane crawls through. Fox Plaza's unique architecture made it feel iconic on screen. Director John McTiernan loved the steel and glass look. It added realism. The building later appeared in films like Speed and Airheads, but none as memorable as Die Hard. Even today, tourists visit Fox Plaza just to see Nakatomi. Some employees recall hearing gunfire sound effects echoing through the halls. During late shoots, security had to reassure people that it was just movie magic. The building's real tenants got a front row seat to action cinema history. It's one of the rare times a corporate office became a Hollywood legend. And yes, if you stand on the street and look up, you can still picture McClane inside, barefoot and bleeding. It's a testament to how location can make or break a film's atmosphere.
There are rules for policemen. So my captain keeps telling me.
Fact 3. Alan Rickman's performance as Hans Gruber is one of cinema's greatest villain debuts. Incredibly, Die Hard was his first ever film role. Before that, he was a respected stage actor in London's West End. Producers were hesitant to cast him because he was so unknown in Hollywood, but Rickman's screen test impressed everyone instantly. He brought charm and intelligence to Gruber, giving the villain layers rarely seen in action movies. Rickman famously wore a tailored suit for most of the film, making Gruber feel elegant and menacing. The scene where Gruber pretends to be an American hostage wasn't in the original script. It was added after Rickman improvised the accent on set. His fall from the building is one of the most iconic shots in the film. To capture his genuine fear, the stunt team dropped him unexpectedly on the count of 2 instead of 3. His startled expression is 100% real. Rickman later said he was terrified of heights. That moment cemented him as a master of subtle villainy. After Die Hard, Rickman went on to play unforgettable roles like Snape in Harry Potter. But Hans Gruber remains a gold standard for action movie bad guys. Not bad for a first film, right? It's proof that sometimes the perfect villain comes from the unlikeliest place.
What was it you said to me before? Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Fact 4. John McClane's iconic catchphrase, "Yippee-ki-yay, mother," was never meant to be legendary. The line was ad-libbed by Willis, inspired by old cowboy movies. The script had McClane calling Gruber Roy Rogers earlier, so Willis riffed on that. Producers were worried the line was too vulgar for mainstream audiences. They nearly cut it during editing, fearing it would bump the movie's rating. Thankfully, they kept it in. Censors agreed to let it pass with minimal fuss. The line tested so well that it became McClane's signature. In some TV versions, it was hilariously dubbed as "Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon." Fans still joke about that awkward edit. Willis later said the line summed up McClane's attitude perfectly. Part cowboy, part wise guy. It's now one of the most quoted lines in action cinema. The American Film Institute even named it one of the greatest movie quotes ever, and every sequel found a way to bring it back. Sometimes the best lines are the ones no one planned. It gave McClane the last word, literally. Without that quip, he might have just been another action hero. Instead, he became a legend with a single, defiant sentence.
Happy trails, Hans.
Fact 5. When Bruce Willis signed on for Die Hard, he wasn't yet a movie star. His paycheck shocked Hollywood. 20th Century Fox paid him $5 million, an astronomical sum for an unproven film lead in 1988. Most big movie stars of the era, like Tom Cruise or Mel Gibson, weren't commanding that much yet. The studio took the risk because they were desperate to secure a name audiences recognized. Willis was coming straight from moonlighting, where his wisecracking style made him a household name on TV. Some industry insiders mocked Fox for spending so much on a TV comedian, but they underestimated how well that everyman attitude would translate to the big screen. Willis's salary changed the game for TV actors making the jump to film. His agent used the big number as leverage for other TV stars seeking movie roles. Willis himself later said he was blown away when he saw that number on his contract. He felt he had to prove himself every single day on set, and he did. Die Hard made $140 million at the box office on a $28 million budget. His payday didn't seem so outrageous after that. Today, $5 million sounds modest for an A-list action star, but back then, it was headline news. The deal helped push Hollywood salaries into a new era. It taught studios to gamble on unexpected leading men, and it helped create the modern action hero template we know today. So next time you see McClane crawling through air vents, remember, that air vent cost $5 million. Fact 6. Die Hard is famous for its practical explosions. They didn't rely on CGI. They really blew things up. The filmmakers used real pyrotechnics inside Fox Plaza. Crews set up controlled blasts on unfinished floors of the building. At night, these fireballs lit up the Los Angeles skyline. Office workers in nearby skyscrapers were caught off guard. Some even called the fire department, thinking there was a real terrorist attack happening. The police received multiple reports about gunfire and smoke plumes. The studio had to reassure local businesses that everything was under control. Actors and stuntmen wore protective gear, but accidents still happened. Bruce Willis suffered partial hearing loss from all the gunfire during filming. Alan Rickman said he flinched every time an explosive went off near him. Director John McTiernan insisted on practical effects to keep it gritty. He believed audiences could feel the difference. The raw energy of real fire and debris added danger to every scene. Those massive window explosions were done with carefully rigged charges. The building's steel frame amplified the sound of each blast. Crew members said you could feel the ground shake under your feet. It made the tension feel terrifyingly authentic. All that risk paid off on screen. No green screen, no shortcuts, just pure old-school action mayhem.
Tell me you got that. I got it.
Fact 7. Many fans don't know Die Hard started as a book adaptation. It's based on Roderick Thorpe's 1979 novel, Nothing Lasts Forever. That book was itself a sequel to his earlier novel, The Detective. The Detective was adapted into a 1968 film starring Frank Sinatra. That's why Sinatra technically had first refusal for Die Hard. In Thorpe's book, the hero's name is Joe Leland, not John McClane. The plot is similar. A retired cop visits his daughter at her office building. Terrorists take over, and he must outwit them single-handedly. The story is much darker than the movie. The hero's daughter dies at the end. No happy reunion. Producers changed the protagonist to McClane and made the daughter his wife. They kept the high-rise setting and the idea of one man alone. They also added more humor and a hopeful ending. Roderick Thorpe got full credit and royalties from the film's success, but he admitted he was surprised by how fun the final movie was. He said Bruce Willis brought the character to life in a way he never expected. The novel remains a must-read for die-hard diehards. It's proof that even explosive blockbusters can have literary roots. Sometimes the best action comes from an unexpected page.
I didn't get that message. Maybe you should have put it on the bulletin board.
Fact 8. Hans Gruber's fall from the Nakatomi Plaza is unforgettable. To get the perfect shot, the stunt team devised a clever plan. Rickman was strapped to a rig 40 feet above a safety airbag. They told him they'd drop him on the count of 3, but they let him go on 2 so his shock would look real. The expression on his face isn't acting. It's genuine panic. When Rickman hit the airbag, he bruised a rib on impact. He joked later that he forgave the crew because the shot looked so good. Director John McTiernan wanted the drop to be a single take. Rickman did it without a stunt double for his close-up. He hated heights and nearly backed out of the stunt, but he knew it would make Gruber's death more iconic. The scene became an instant classic in action movie history. Fans still freeze-frame that moment just to see Rickman's terror. The trick has inspired other directors to surprise actors for authentic reactions. But few work as well as this one. Rickman's commitment made Hans Gruber legendary. Sometimes you have to fall to be remembered, and this villain's fall is one we'll never forget.
These are very bad for you. The fly in the ointment, Hans. The monkey in the wrench. A pain in the ass.
Fact 9. Die Hard wasn't a finished product when cameras started rolling. The original draft went through huge changes every day. Bruce Willis and director John McTiernan wanted more humor and realistic dialogue. They worked with script doctor Stephen E. D'Souza on set. New pages were delivered daily to keep scenes fresh. Actors often got lines the same morning they shot them. Some of McClane's best lines were improvised on the spot. The banter between McClane and Al Powell was written last minute. Rickman even contributed ideas for Gruber's dialogue. The elevator scenes were rewritten to play up their cat and mouse vibe. The screenwriters wanted McClane to sound like a normal guy, not a superhero. That tone shift made the movie relatable and funny. Crew members joked that the script was like a living thing, always changing. Producers worried about the chaos, but it worked. The constant tweaks made the story feel alive. The result is a film that feels spontaneous and sharp. You can sense the raw energy in every exchange. No stiff action movie cliches, just real people under fire. Sometimes the messiest scripts make the best movies, and Die Hard is the proof. Fact 10. Every year, the same question explodes across social media. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? The film is set on Christmas Eve at an office holiday party. There's Christmas music, decorations, and plenty of seasonal one-liners. Director John McTiernan said it's definitely a Christmas story about redemption. Bruce Willis famously disagrees, saying it's not a Christmas movie at all. Fans continue to argue at parties and on message boards every December. Some people even watch it religiously every Christmas Eve. The debate has become as iconic as the movie itself. The studio has leaned into the controversy for marketing. Special edition DVDs and posters joke about its holiday status. The screenwriter Stephen E. D'Souza says he wrote it as a Christmas film on purpose. In Germany, it's aired on TV every Christmas as a tradition. Office parties sometimes theme their decor around Nakatomi Plaza. Yippee-ki-yay holiday sweaters sell out every year. It's the action movie that brings families together to argue. No other blockbuster has sparked a holiday debate this big. Whether you say yes or no, it's part of what keeps the legend alive. For many fans, Christmas just isn't complete without John McClane. And maybe that's the ultimate holiday miracle. Bonus fact. Die Hard didn't just succeed at the box office. It created a new Hollywood shorthand. After its release, studio execs began pitching other action films as Die Hard on a Wave or Fury. That formula meant a lone hero trapped in an enclosed location, fighting overwhelming odds. Under Siege was described as Die Hard on a battleship. Speed became Die Hard on a bus, Passenger 57, Die Hard on a plane. Even Air Force One was Die Hard on the president's jet. Writers and producers leaned into this pitch to get projects greenlit fast. The template was so influential that it shaped action cinema for decades. The reason it works? The stakes feel immediate and relatable. Audiences love an underdog facing impossible odds in a single location. The structure also keeps budgets reasonable while delivering huge tension. Screenwriters still study Die Hard to learn how to craft suspense. John McTiernan, the director, once said the film was just a modern Western in a skyscraper. That simple premise inspired countless clones and homages. Many of these spin-offs became hits in their own right. Fans still debate which Die Hard on a Mess is best. No other action movie has defined an entire subgenre like this. It's part of why Die Hard stays fresh decades later. Even now, writers use Die Hard on a as the perfect elevator pitch. One film, infinite imitators. And that's the mark of a true legend.